everyone, and welcome to the Fake Love and Flying Monkeys mini podcast. My name is Nova Gibson and I am your host. As an expert on coercive control and narcissistic abuse in domestic violence relationships, my goal, my desire in these podcasts is to support victims and survivors and their families. So please hit that follow button, subscribe to this channel so you never miss another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Fake Love and Flying Monkeys. Narcissists and their phone are never parted. Why? Because they need a constant direct line to all of their sources of supply. But today, we're not just looking at the fact that their phone is one of the biggest weapons they have to control and manipulate you and keep engaged with all of their different sources and to keep their ability to triangulate people and set people up, etc., etc. But we're actually going to be looking at the way they control people with their phone, one of their number one weapons to abuse you. Let's look at the weird texting habits of the narcissist. Example number one. In the beginning, the narcissist cannot get enough of you and they text you non-stop. There's so much detail in their texts. They text when they say they're going to message you. They text you, "Good morning, my prince," or "Good morning, my princess," or "Good night. Sweet dreams, my prince or princess." They never would leave you hanging, and they are dependable, they're reliable, and their texting suggests to you that this is a person you can trust. Example number two. The narcissist is in the absolute full throes of devaluing you. They send you a message and you do not respond instantly. You have been at work, you're in a meeting, you're getting your hair done, whatever you're doing, it doesn't matter to the narcissist because you disrespected them by not contacting them back immediately. So what does the narcissist do? 5 minutes later, after they have received nothing from you, you get a question mark. Then they get nothing again 5 minutes later. So you get 2 question marks. Oh, when you finally see these messages, you know they are angry. And your boundaries have been worn down so much that you come up with all of these ways to justify to them why you didn't call them back the second they called you. You know what the punishment is going to be. You're not able to look at this controlling behavior objectively because you're in the middle of the domestic abuse. And these text messages are abusive. They are designed to scare you, intimidate you, and have you do exactly what they want you to do for fear of punishment. Fear that they will give you the silent treatment for another month if you don't get back to them immediately. So what does a victim of narcissistic abuse do? They have their phone attached to them every second of the day, not because they're like the narcissist, but because they become scared of missing their call or the text message because they know the punishment, that silent treatment, etc., that they will get, which is torturous, and they want to avoid it at all costs. Example number 3, weird when you really have no idea of the manipulation that is going on and the setup and the wearing down of your boundaries. Weird in the beginning, but clearly when you have your light bulb moment, you become aware that this particular strategy is abusive. And that weird behavior is when the narcissist goes from hot to cold in their messages on the flip of a dime, at the drop of a hat. They can go from being completely indifferent to you, just ignoring your feelings and ignoring the fact that you're upset, or just straight out abusing you, to, in the next message, I love you so much. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine my life without you. To the next message, you are such a fat so-and-so. I wished I'd never met you. To the next message, which may be, what are we having for dinner tonight? Or can you pass me the salt, please? Example number 4, the random text message. Once again, their phone is a weapon, and text messages become a weapon to them, in that they are used to hoover you. So the rando text message that may come in 3 months, let's say, after they've discarded you, with perhaps, happy birthday. I just remembered that it was your birthday, so I just thought I'd send you a quick message and let you know that I'm thinking about you. How weird. Well, another example that would be even weirder, but very, very common, is when the narcissist sends you some random message that is clearly not meant for you. They're trying to make you jealous. They're trying to make you insecure. You're trying to go no contact, and they accidentally send you a message that is clearly meant for someone else, talking about maybe their plans, what an amazing night they had, and it's designed to get them back inside your head. But it's so obvious, guys. So if you get that random text message that's not for you, it was for you. There are never any coincidences. As if you could accidentally send the person you have told the world you despise more than anyone, as if you could accidentally send that person the arrangements for the restaurant you're going to have an intimate dinner at that night, rather than your new partner. It's a setup to get back inside your head and to get you thinking about them. Or maybe the random text message is something like, my mother died, and I know how close you were with her, and I know you're the only one who would understand, and I just thought also that you'd want to know. You'd want to know that this happened, even though they said to you to lose their number and they never wanted you around their family again. Now they're so courteous and they're reaching out to let you know that this loved one of theirs has died. Random text message. So when the narcissist is sending out these bulk texts, trying to hook one, or if they're really good at their game or lucky, they will get more than one. It's like the fisherman putting out a casting net, pulling it in and seeing how much they've got. How much did they catch? the more people they put in that texting group, the better chance they've got of securing supply from at least one person, but hopefully to get multiple people whom they can triangulate. So the narcissist will despicably lie in bed beside their current primary source whilst sending out the group text message to all of these different people that seem so personalized that every person thinks they're the only one. They'll do this and their pulse will not change. And it's designed to get the biggest bang for their buck. They are putting out as much bait as they can to increase their chances of catching something. Now, there are so many different habits when it comes to texting that I could talk about today, but just for this episode, I've limited it to number 7 weird habits, I should say. And the 7th one is one that happens more when you meet someone on a dating site. Let's just say you've swiped right, or they've swiped right as well, depending on the dating site you're on. And you have this amazing connection, it seems, on, I don't know, let's just go with Tinder, one everyone knows. And you're really, really engaged with this person. They seem to be engaged with you, and they text you, they get your number, and you're pretty hooked on this person. You can't wait to meet them. They send you a text message. All of that online stuff is finished, and they are just gushing. They are so excited to meet you, and they'll get back to you and organize something. They build your hopes up, and then you don't hear back from them. You look on the dating site, it looks like they're still on there and talking to other people, and here you are just dying for them to message you back because you felt there was such a connection to them. They text you once and that's it. Guys, when they come back, if they come back a few days later after they've said how they couldn't wait to meet you, and that they were going to message you at a certain time and organize something, if they don't get back to you and then message you back a week, a few days later even, where, oh, look, I'm sorry, I've just been really busy, kick them to the curb. Get rid of them. Don't go back. They are telling you who they are. That is the weird or manipulative hook message, where they hook you in so that you will be sitting by your phone every day wondering why they haven't messaged you back. And that's so that when they do message you whenever, a week later, oh, I've been so busy, sorry, then the relief you feel that they finally got back to you, they're thinking about you. And by then, your desire to see them again has grown and grown, and it makes the reward of them texting you even more tantalizing. So you hang in there and it feels good when they eventually get back to you. This is an intermittent reinforcement schedule where they are making you hang on for the eventual payoff, which is when they text you. And it makes them be able to text you like nothing's happened. I was busy. Hey, you're an option in my life. That's what they're telling you. And I'll get around to messaging you when I feel like it. You just weren't important enough. And I actually had another couple of people I was chatting to that I hadn't quite hooked in as much as I've hooked you. That's what they're really telling you guys. So don't fall for it if they say something like that to you. Random, weird texting habit of an abusive narcissist. So when I'm talking about text messages from the narcissist in your life being weird, that's how we tend to view them when we don't know. We don't know yet that this person is abusive. And a lot of the time we ascribe behaviors that are weird as just little quirky idiosyncrasies they have. Just that's who they are. Oh, don't worry about that. That's just them. That's what we say about people to give them a free pass to be extremely abusive. It's like a gift to a narcissist when someone says to you, oh, don't mind them, that's just them. Well, if that's just them is them being an absolute asshole, an absolute arrogant, rude, abusive, consistently abusive jerk, then no, you should not accept that behavior because that's just them. But when we talk about weird and text messages, we think just that. That's just them. They've got some weird habits. But there are no coincidences when it comes to the narcissist and their behaviors with everything, including the way they text you, are thought out, planned. Yes, sometimes they may be impulsive, but the bottom line is they are about manipulation. And what we deemed once upon a time as being weird really are just strategic ways that they use to abuse, confuse, and control you. So weird? Well, maybe a little to some in the beginning who are not used to seeing, hearing words, the equivalent of a Hallmark greeting card, bit gushy, bit over the top, but it hits the right spots. It gets that dopamine flowing, and it's lovely that this person puts so much time into these messages, and the weirdness is very quickly overlooked. But what becomes really weird for that person in the not too distant future is when those texts not just die down in nature, in that they just go through the process that everyone goes through when they're going from the honeymoon phase to a stage when you know each other better, you're more comfortable with each other. Not just that normal kind of dying down of the honeymoon phase, but it comes to a screeching halt. 1 minute, they're telling you that they can't sleep unless they hear your voice, and they want to hear you breathing on the other end of the phone so that they can go to sleep. The next minute, there's nothing. And you get concerned. Why have they done a complete about face? What have I done to offend them? And you ask them, and of course the devaluation continues with, oh my goodness, you're a little insecure, or those sorts of words. So weird, yes, over the top in the beginning. It doesn't just gradually die down. it comes to a screeching halt, not just to a screeching halt, but any message that you do get after that is more that they're wanting to know where you are, or they're irritated by the fact that you're contacting them. Either way, it will not be about how much they love and adore you and they can't stand going for more than an hour without hearing your voice. Those manipulative days are gone, and you will only get breadcrumbs of that weird texting behavior when it suits the narcissist or it looks like you're pulling away. Now, if it gets past the habitual 1 question mark, 10 minutes later, 5 minutes later even, 2 question marks, 5 minutes after that, 3 question marks, if it gets past that point, then you may get the capital letters. Now, if the narcissist is texting you, even if the words themselves are not abusive, they are able to get their message across to you that you are in trouble because it's in capital letters. They're swearing at you by a capital letter. The underlying message is abusive, and it may be full of abuse as well, don't get me wrong, but the capital letters, that's what makes you know you are really in trouble. And once again, victims tend to develop coping mechanisms around avoiding the punishment that would come if they didn't get back to their abuser who had texted them immediately, and they come up with coping mechanisms to avoid it getting to the 3 question mark point, or the passive aggressive abuse in capital letters. Now, obviously, it's easier to define those just flipping from hot to cold in their messages as weird in the beginning, because they're not going to be that polarized. But when you have your light bulb moment and you look at the actual polarized message content from 1 second to the next, you realize that them going from I hate you to I love you in 2 seconds via text message is not weird, it's abusive. Number 5, weird texting habit of the narcissist is when they send out group texts. Now, I'm not talking about group texts to a bunch of friends who all know they're in this group. I'm talking about a text message that is sent to, let's just say, 6, 7 or more different people who think it's only being sent to them because it's so personalized. Number 6 example is when the narcissist ignores you, knowing that you're trying to get hold of them about something very, very important, something that you need their input on, let's just say, and they know the urgency of your message and they ignore you. But then you'll get a text message way after the emergency has finished because you've had to get other family members or just any other person involved to help you through that emergency. They will text you with, oh, hi, how you going? Yeah, you wanted me? And act like nothing's happened. And they didn't know the urgency of your message. And this is a lose-lose situation for the victim, because if they say anything, the narcissist will just say that text messages can be taken the wrong way, etc., etc. I didn't know it was that urgent. They will gaslight you by pretending not to understand the urgency of your message, and then waiting hours and hours and hours, days even, to get back to you. And then they will act like nothing's happened, and they have no idea why you're mad at them. And that brings us to the end of another Fake Love and Flying Monkeys episode. Thanks for sticking with me till the end, guys. I am a professional counselor. I just wanted to let you know before you all go, because I want to be able to support you. This is what I do. And if you are in the United States, the UK, Australia, it doesn't matter. All my counselling appointments, which, by the way, I only work with narcissistic abuse victims and survivors. All my counselling appointments are online. If you'd like to have an appointment with me, please see my website below and send me an email, and I will get back to you ASAP. Now, I really hope that you found some validation in this episode around a pretty weird topic, but relevant when it comes to narcissism, and just looking at everything the narcissist does and the accumulative effect of all these things when you put them together. Now, someone may contact me and say, and I've had this before, Nova, so I've sent a question mark to my ex when I was mad. Does that make me a narcissist? Because that's what you're saying. It's a pretty blanket statement, isn't it? What I say to that is, no, it doesn't. But the victims and survivors look at these things as just one more thing that they add on to all of the other controlling and manipulative, abusive behaviors of the narcissist. So yes, this is something that they do, and texting is a way to abuse you. Okay, guys, on that note, I'm going to say goodbye. Don't forget to look out for my best-selling book, Fake Love, Understanding and Healing from Narcissistic Abuse. And until tomorrow's episode, remember, you are worthy of love, and you are certainly worthy of a whole lot more than a lifetime of fake love and flying monkeys.